And upload. Man, that was fun to make. And it's actually the type of content I want to make too. So hopefully it gets a few more views than normal. It'll actually give me a chance to continue it. Oh. Well then, I guess it's time for the fires. Seriously though, the amount of support I've gotten in the past 2 weeks is insane. You guys are like insanely nice, and now I want to actually continue doing this, so thank you. Rare Kana, unlike the other two, does not emit any smoke out of its head. Also, Epic Kana was first revealed on Phantomonium. Remember Phantomonium? I don't want to either. Epic Wobble leads us into one of my favorite things about this game, bio references. In Epic Wobble's case, it's bio references The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. This part of the bio is pretty much just the beginning of the poem, and Give Me More is a reference to Nevermore, the thing that stupid bird keeps saying the entire time.
Nevermore.
You already have.
But we're not done with this 13-year-old cousin Marier yet, because every single one of Epic Wobble's nicknames are references to him. Up until September 2019, Rare and Epic Monster didn't have their own eggs. They just used the common ones with some extra effects. Yeah, for something that content farms love to milk for some reason, eggs were pretty neglected until then. The reason I'm saying this is because Rare Flower was the first new monster added after the change, meaning it was the first newly added variant to not use its common's egg. There were over 2 years when no rare monsters were added to the game. The one to break this streak? Rare Stog. Yeah, they didn't exactly come out swinging. I don't blame them though. Look how fast they were releasing epics at the same time. They probably didn't have much time for Rare Stog. Fangler is the greatest monster ever created. It's true. I said so. I've been saying this since September 2015? Dawn of Fire is almost 10 years old? Don't like that. But whatever. From one objective fact to another, Fangler was the last double fire elemental to get an epic. And the last one to get a costume. Big blue bubble. When I get my hands on... Oh wait. Rare Fangler was the only rare monster on Fire Oasis for over 3 months. And the only rare on Psychic Island for 2 months. Fine. All double fire elements need their secondary elements quad on Amber Island. But for some reason, Boskins needs Riff, not Deej. Did they just forget? Flower and Stog came out later, and they got it right. So, how did this happen? When Barb first released on the Amber Island, it needed 2 Gobblegores instead of 2 Gobs. When Prismatic Barb first released, orange turned into a creepypasta, and yellow was unobtainable. Most of Epic Flugel's bio is a reference to the Lorax, with this part of the end being a reference to Horton Hears a Who. I'm not sure what this design has to do with Dr. Seuss, but there's no but, that's it. Wallaby and Waddle have been together on every single island that they're on. The beginning of Rare Wallaby's bio is a reference to Baba Black Sheep. Epic Wallaby has Stair Shaper's face, and the Nexus orbs everywhere. The end of its bio also references Magical Nexus, but no one knew what it was when Epic Wallaby released because it was still about a month and a half away. Like Waddle and Wallaby, Repetillo and Tring have never been separate on any of the islands they're on. Ruditude and Bowhead have also never been separate. Can I find something better, please? The Rare is based on a carrot and the Epic's based on a potato? Still scraping the bottom of the barrel. Rare Souza had the shortest wait between its common and its rare, being only 27 days. Usually monsters change between Dawn of Fire and the main game because of the different art styles, but Thrumble just doesn't. There's some small changes in the lighting, but like, look at this. Ziggurat is loosely based on a ziggurat, which are ancient Mesopotamian temples. There's not really much resemblance beyond the name, but that's where the epic comes in. When the obligatory More the Merrier teaser dropped, we were graced with this. Everyone just assumed it was Epic Caralong. Also, to no one's surprise, Wink is more detailed in Dawn of Fire than in the main game. Except I lied! The more detailed one's in the main game. Why? Okay, one last thing. The expressions in this Wink concept are really funny to me for some reason, and I don't know why. The crystals on Tring's back light up when it plays. This doesn't happen in Dawn of Fire, except on the Prismatic, or that's its entire gimmick. Bicinerus' design was completely changed. It was originally this monster, called Deuce. The monster handlers were so confident that Deuce was going to be added to the game, that it was on the loading screen for Dawn of Fire. On Amber Island, Bicinerus moved its right arm when it says dumb, and moves its left arm when it says diddly.
Dum diddly dum 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 diddly dum 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 diddly dum 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 dum.
Also, while I was getting these facts, I realized how terrible fandom was. Can we please move the wiki? Yelmet is the first 2x2 quad added to either game. Kinda. Flummox was added first, but it's only 2x2 as a baby. Once it's an adult, it's 3x3. Yelmet can't be used to breed Mimic, Gnarls, Tusksy, or Candelabra. Flummox's monster portrait actually used its Dawn of Fire design, rather than its main game one. It's very hard to see the difference, but if you look close enough, you can tell. Okay, that was where the script left it, but I'm gonna help you out a little bit. The biggest difference I was able to see is in the fur on the side of its face. Krillby's back pretty heavily resembles an ocarina, which actually makes a lot of sense, because it does in fact play Recorder. Also, ignoring Kana, Krillby takes the most diamonds to fill on Amber Island, even ahead of Candelabra somehow. When Fire Oasis was first released, Snizer's tail just disappear during its playing animation. And when I say disappear, I really mean teleport. And no, this isn't because of Kongle. It would teleport to this specific spot on Fire Oasis. Also, getting all these videos made me realize that Fire Oasis is about to turn 6 years old. Ugh. Snizer was also the last monster added to Dawn of Fire that can go to multiple outer islands, which was 8 years ago. This was probably the single most surprising thing to me in the past 2 videos. I had no idea it had been 8 years since something had gone to 2 outer islands. I mean, Gnarls would have been perfect on Party Island, but perhaps some things are best left forgotten for now. Mimi changed its idle animation in March of 2023, making it much more clear that it's not playing. Also, apparently this part of the bio and these things on its head means that rare Mimi is a reference to Wednesday. Although I've never watched it, so take it with a grain of salt. Pongping is the only monster to release in both games on the same day. It also has my favorite troll from the developers ever. The spikes on its head are super similar to the eggs on Brump. Now that doesn't sound too bad, until you remember this loading screen, when people saw this purple thing and rightfully assumed that it was Rare Brump. Finally, after 6 years, rare Wupplins are finally coming to the... When Incisaur first released on the Amber Island, its back leg detached from its body. Rare Tiawa was the 100th rare ever released, and the first ever rare release was also pink. Coincidence? Yeah, probably. Epic Tiawa is the only epic that isn't a seasonal that takes over 2 days to breed. Its egg also looks like Lilith. Sorry, had to say it. Candelabra on Party Island used to lose the fire in one of its hands, and then it would just freeze. There was also a glitch where sparkles would come out of its hands instead of fire. This combined with the previous glitch, making Candelabra super broken. Rare Candelabra resembles Rare Cana. Ugh. I avoided saying this last time because it would have only been Mimic. Let's get this over with. Rare Candelabra is Rare Cana. Rare Dromedary is Rare Noggin. Rare Bowhead's Rare Toejammer. Rare Tusky is Rare Mimic. Rare Gnarls is Rare Potbelly. And Rare Mimic is pushing it. Even though Dromedary lost its spirals when it came to the main game, its egg did not. When Rare Bowhead first released, it was in the breeding structure on Psychic Island, although nothing actually happened when you used it. Prismatic Tusky is very Earth Element themed. Here we go again. Tusky is Earth. Candelabra is Water. Gnarls is Fire. Mimic is Cold. And these two are pushing it. Despite what it might seem, these are not picked randomly. They're the elements that they represent pushed back by 2. And finally, Gnarls. Rare Gnarls was the first new monster to be added to the Mirror Magicals after they were released. It also had the shortest time between being added to Dawn of Fire and getting a Prismatic, being only 70 days. I'm not calling it Gnarls. Whoa, hey, cool video, yeah. I want to quickly address something I said in the last video, which was, the first magical island to get its rare single was Psychic Island. The first one to get all its rare doubles was Light Island. The first one to get all its rare triples was Bone Island. And the first one to get its rare quad was Psychic Island. Yeah, Fairy Island gets nothing. Well, 5 days after I make that video, Rare Squat's announced to be coming to Fairy Island. Which of course means that Fairy Island is the first island to get all its rare magicals. So congrats, Fairy Island, you do get something. The next episode is going to be about 2 classes. Woo! That's kind of it. Bye.